Okay. Now, um, if you want a little bit about Marco, and then start the session. So Marco is an experienced global leader for about near 2 decades of experience. He has worked across different industries, biopharma, software, aerospace. Correct me, Marco, if I'm saying anything.
Everything is correct so far, Mina. Doing great.
Good. And he has led different teams and managed high-stake stakeholders. But beyond these technical skills, Marco is an excellent career coach and a fabulous mentor. And he's known for his no-nonsense and structured approach. So if you ask him anything, he will give you an action-oriented plan. So we are very thrilled to have you here tonight. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Would you like to tell us a little bit more?
About my journey, of course. So I think that it was Dimitri that was saying he was a lawyer. And I think that's marvelous because, for example, in the company that I'm working with right now, so the head of technology, he was an accountant. He worked in finance. And people have different sides of their own personalities. And we don't need to be an engineering manager or project manager all of our lives. And I would say that I'm the living experience of that. I'm an engineer. I was trained in technology. I'm an electrical engineer. I have a master's that I took 20 years ago. And I started my career there. I solved problems, very difficult problems in the automotive industry. I was, and I still am, I think, a little bit introverted. I like to be in my own cubicle, in the corner of a room, trying to solve a problem. And if there's no one there, even better, because I'm not really good with people sometimes. But as I was progressing in my engineering career, I was being invited to lead different types of projects, speaking with stakeholders, meeting with clients, trying to understand the problem from a technical perspective, but also from a business perspective. And I was being invited to manage projects, engineering projects. And I did that. So after 7 years, just solving pure engineering problems, software and hardware, mostly embedded systems, I was invited to manage projects at a global scale. And my skills were not great. I had some knowledge. I didn't have any specific training for that. But step by step, I started to understand the language of the business, the language of the stakeholders, the language of the people that are the employers, but also the language of the clients. And I was able to interact with them in a very good way, I would say. And I learned a lot. Then I got my knowledge a little bit deeper. I took courses, training, certifications, and I fell in love with this because the technical background I had acquired in university, but now I had the soft skills. I had the knowledge, the hard skills that would be translated in soft skills. And for me, that was amazing. After 12 years, and I did also some management consulting, parallel to my engineering work, and then also as a senior project manager and program manager. And then after 12 years, I've relocated to London. I'm Portuguese. I was born in Lisbon, Portugal, but I lived in London for a few years, and now I'm back to my hometown in Lisbon after all these years of working in different industries. So I've started the automotive industry. Then in London, I was in a car rental company doing management of some global projects around telemetry and customer profiling. Then when I came back to Portugal, I was a couple of years in the biopharmaceutical environment. I didn't particularly like it because it was very finance driven, and I'm more a technology guy by my heart. And I've joined another company recently that it's Sky UK, that is part of the Comcast group. It's part of Universal. It's an American company, and I'm there. But because I like so much what I do, and I like to interact with people and share my experience, I'm also a mentor. in my free time, I tend to participate in these kind of sessions, initiatives, to make sure that my knowledge can be shared and maybe we can learn with each other. I think that's very important for our own career growth. And for me, it's a real pleasure to be here today. So thank you. I hope I'm not spending too much time on this, Mina. Sorry, I don't know how much time I have,
No, it's
but
absolutely
I think
fine.
it
It's
was.
absolutely fine. Thank you. Thank you for explaining it really. And for everyone on the session, I may have mentioned this before, but I have been privileged enough to receive mentorship from Marco, and he helped me massively. It started from CV optimization and then interview skills. And so, yes, I have experienced it firsthand. So that's been a great experience. I totally recommend reaching out and yes, try to build that connection. That would really help. So, Marco, you were mentioning that you have been working with people from different backgrounds, different levels of experience, in different industries. And what we are usually advised to do is to connect with people, expand our network. And I'm sure that many people on this session are actually planning to do that. Me, myself, one of them. So it gets tricky, although it is very helpful, but it gets tricky sometimes. So, in your experience, how can we build stronger connections with our current network or with the people that we meet for the first time and we are trying to connect with them? How can we build stronger connections?
I think that's a good question. I don't think I have a straight answer. I have some ideas about that from my own experience. So building connections, it's about creating a trustworthy relationship with someone. And no person is an island. Let's just start with that. We cannot go anywhere by ourselves. It's not possible. For example, alone, it's not possible to go alone. And as much as I would like to say it is, it's not. And I've seen that. I've seen brilliant engineers. I've seen brilliant business analysts. I've seen brilliant people. I worked hard. Now I'm a little bit older. I don't work as hard, but I did. I did 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I was working 10, 12, 14 hours a day. And although it has advantages, it doesn't put you where you want to be. It's not sufficient, and you need to interact with people. Now, that's a skill that some people they have naturally, but it's also something that can be learned. It takes practice. And my advice to better network, it's just to go out from your own comfort zone. If you are someone introverted, if you are someone connected to technology, to science, maybe you have a very rational line of thought. That doesn't help in relationships. It might if they share the same values as you, but people are different. They have different types of thoughts. And one thing that I would say it's good, it's just go out your comfort zone, really put your mind and heart into it. Don't bring the phone to the conversation, don't be fiddling and making multitasking, no, just be with someone, just speak with them. Some people will be influential in your life, some people will be your mentors. I had great mentors in the past and I didn't know that I was being mentored. Okay, so connect with the ones that you don't know, reach out to the ones that you don't know yet. Make sure that you create a good environment for you, connect with people that can make you a better person, can open doors for you, because people have influence, people have power. Connect with those people, and just be prepared to interact in an honest way. And I would say that's the first thing to do. For example, I've seen many people applying to jobs through LinkedIn and going through the ATS system, so the automatic tracking system. Many big companies, they have Workday, they have different platforms that are very expensive, and they put the applications there, 100 applications per day, 100 applications per week. I don't know the numbers, and they get 100 rejections because that's a machine. It's not a real person. It doesn't matter. You are just a number. You need to connect with something, with someone real. And one of the advice that I give to young people or people trying to change roles or industries, don't apply to an automatic tracking system. Just reach out to the recruiter, give him a phone call, send him an email, present yourself in a good way. And it's like having a job, changing roles, changing industries. It's an 8 hour per day role. You need to be prepared for that. You need to keep training yourself, educating yourself, reaching out to people, making applications. But as much as you can, try to connect with people that you don't know, because some of them will ignore you and others will open doors for you. And you need to be prepared to do that. And it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's difficult, but you need to do that. And that's the way to get the skills that you don't have, those social skills. If you have it, no, it's natural for you. Just connect with people, and that's that. I hope this answers the question.
It does, yeah. Thank you. And so, if we want to do that, to identify the people that can be helpful for our goals and to introduce us to someone else, expand the network. Are there any criteria really to identify the good connections that we can make?
I'm not sure if there is a good criteria. We don't know what we don't know. And if we are trying to make a new connections with someone, you don't know the personality, you don't know the skills, you don't know anything. I think that a good trait is that those people, they are not lazy. They keep pushing. The best colleagues that I had, the best friends that I had, are the ones that they make mistakes, they are blunt, and sometimes some of them are very, very kind, but others, they are not so kind. But one thing that they have in common is that they don't stop. They never stop. They keep trying and trying and trying and trying and connecting and testing and risking and making and taking the first step. And if it doesn't work, they take the bullets and they take a bath and they sleep, and the next day they are ready for it. So I think that's really important. Connect with people that you can sense that they are not lazy, they are energetic. Because one thing that I learned, and I didn't know that, I think I keep saying this to you, Mina, is that people, they want your success. Yeah. They want you to be successful. They don't want to block you. People want you to be successful. Don't make hard for them to do that. Don't make yourself unavailable. Don't talk too much. Don't make assumptions. Don't do that. Make their lives easier, because they want you to be successful. And you can see that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't know, 20 minutes in the conversation, you can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I hope that it makes sense for everybody as much as it does for me. So yeah, that's great to know. And there are people actually joining us from outside the UK and are hoping to get into maybe the UK's market, or as people said, Netherlands, some other countries across Europe, across the world. So besides reaching out, I assume they can only reach out via email or messages to the recruiters or people. Are there anything else that they can do to make themselves known to these potential new connections?
There are many ways to be known. For example, if you are a developer, an engineer, software developer, maybe you can get some code in GitHub or create a portfolio. If you are a project manager, maybe you can create a slide or a simple presentation stating the projects that you led and what were the achievements that you got. So, and one thing that I think is really important is that sometimes, this is my personal experience, is that people, they want to be presented as polite, they want to speak, they want to be themselves, and that's all fine. But if you want to be, for the other person to be receptive, you need to speak their language. Some people, they don't like words, you know. Some people, they don't like pictures. Some people don't like having a very deep conversation. Some people just want to know about the weather. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is that when you approach someone, approach in a way and adjust your interaction in a way that it makes sense for the other one, not for you. You have your own personality. It's not that. It's adapt your communication style to the personality of the other person. And that's hard because you need to know the personality, and then you need to change yourself a little bit to to go to that direction. So, but that's really crucial. In the beginning, you don't know, so you are not going to send a one-line sentence, but you're also not going to send a 50-line, book.
Yeah.
But you need to put something there, 2 lines, 3 lines, 5 lines. But as soon as they interact back to you, just adapt your communication style, because how can I say it? There is no second chance to make a good first impression. And all interactions matter. All interactions matter, and it's not about you; it's about them, because they will open the doors for you. I think that's really important. I learned that when I was a management consultant. As an engineer, I have strong opinions about things, very strong opinions. That doesn't matter. What matters is what the client values. And we need to find a way to deal with that. Hope that answers your question, Mina.
Absolutely. So it involves a lot of pitching, if I may say. Like we pitch ourselves a lot of times in our
Of course,
CVs, or maybe we meet someone in person. So I know that someone asked this actually, that when we pitch ourselves, should we be modest with our skills and who we are, or no, just the opposite? What would you recommend?
doesn't matter. I would say it doesn't matter. What it matters is that it's my opinion, my personal experience, professional experience, that you don't fake it. Don't fake it. One thing is to learn and to adapt. Another thing is being modest just because it looks good, or not being modest because it doesn't look good. You're faking it. It's not you. My advice is take some time alone by yourself in a quiet place, in a pleasant place. Pick up a piece of paper, pick up a pen, and really reflect about your achievements, because you had a lot a lot. I, I can tell you, when I was living in London, it was through the pandemic, and the companies shut down. I think it was March 2020 or something like that. There was an advice from the government, and all businesses were shutting down. Airports were not working, transportation was not working. Everyone was a little bit afraid of what's going on with the virus and COVID, and everything shut down. And I was worried. And I went to the biggest wall that was in my apartment. I put post-its on the wall, and I was just writing what happened. I I graduated in electrical engineering. Then I was working there. Then it got the pandemic. I know this and I know that. I got this certification. What is going to be my next step? And making very visual, making clear, not to others, but to ourselves, our achievements, what we believe in, and what we did in the past gives a good direction of what we should do in the future. So I think that's the best advice. It's not being humble or not being arrogant. It's being who you are, but being aware of what you are and what you want to achieve. And that takes time and practice. You need to deal with yourself. For me, writing is very important. So just pick up a pen, a piece of paper, and put there what you want to achieve.
That's actually an amazing example, that to put it in front of our eyes, because when we think, we just, I mean, it just floats in our head. It's not like solid, but when you put it
Foggy.
out there, especially like post it on a wall or a mirror or something that can actually see, and I think that's when it actually changes something inside. that we know that I've done this, so I've got this, so I can do this one, and then we will talk about it with other people. We are sure of it. We're certain. We are confident enough. Is that the case? Does it have that kind of influence internally too?
Probably. I'm always a little bit shy. I don't think I'm good at it. I will never be amazing at it, but it gives you at least control. It gives you a sense of now it's not foggy. Now it's a little bit less foggy. And it gives you, and you know, I woke up, I look at that, I went to the bathroom, I look at that, I was going to the kitchen, I look at that. Yeah, it was me bombarding myself with the stuff that was going on. And that brought to me awareness, that brought to me a sense of purpose and location in the world, and allowed me to make better decisions. Because I can tell you, not everything is under our control. Industries change, governments change, policies change. You are on the wrong time at the wrong place and things happen. That's that. But I would say 70%, 80% of what happens to you, it's in your control. You control a lot. You just don't know how, don't know why, how can you handle it? You don't know. And being you with yourself, putting on that wall or any other mechanism, your own personality, your achievements, what you want to do, and especially having someone to give you a hand and work with you on that, a mentor, a coach, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a friend, I don't know, someone that keeps you accountable and also helps you. I think it's a great way to achieve your goals. And of course, you get better prepared. You are, of course, you get more control.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you. So, I think while you were explaining that, another question came to my mind. So we use this to set goals, and is there anything else that we should consider when we set goals? Like, we know that it should be realistic, we should like it, but is there anything else that while we're setting goals, we need to consider to make it as achievable as if we can, or stay motivated to achieve it really?
Yeah. Well, yes. Let me try to gather my thoughts. So I think that you were alluding to the SMART goals. They need to be specific, measurable, and so on. Let me tell you something. I'm not a proponent of being reasonable. Usually it's better not to be reasonable. It's better to expect the best and try our hardest to get that. Because if you get 50% of the best, it's still good. And I think that it's good to be ambitious. I think. And success means different things to different people. You know, what is ambitious for me might not be ambitious for you. Success, likewise, and so on. So I would say put something that is ambitious, but something that matters to you. Something matters to you. So, for example, some people, they want to change roles because it's better paid, and that's a good reason. Okay, that's a good reason. Or maybe they want to change roles that maybe it's in a different country and I want to go there. It's a good reason. But make sure that's the reason that you are passionate about. If you are passionate about money, go for something that gets you well paid. If you are passionate about engineering, solving problems, I am. So do that. Do something that makes you wake up in the morning and feel the drive to do it. Because motivation, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't matter the motivation. Because sometimes you'll get tired, sometimes you will wake up late, sometimes something is not going well for you, and then you are start to blame everything and everyone, and that doesn't help. No, motivation, it's not part of it. Do something that you like. And if you do something that you like, that you believe, that is really you, you will come every day with a little bit of strength to get it. And that's my main advice. I i i worked in places that I didn't like. I worked in places that I liked a lot, and regardless of pay, it fluctuated, but I really enjoyed when I was doing something fun. And I that's my recommendation, and it was my best work. And it also was the work that was better recognized by my peers, the evaluations, the performance evaluations, and so on. It was the the best version of me happened when I did something that I loved, and that it's a labor of love. So my recommendation is, don't trust your motivation; it's gone. Trust yourself and your heart, and do what really passions you. I think that's the best advice.
That sounds great for anybody that knows what they want to do and what they're
Okay.
passionate about. But
Okay.
some people might be not quite sure. I mean, they may have tried different fields. Some worked, some didn't work, some they like, some they a little bit more. But if there are, and I know that it's an ongoing journey, really, and every day is different from another. But is there any way that we can make sure, at least to a good certain amount, that this is what I like, or find something that I like? I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense, and it gets better when we get older. I think when I was young, I also didn't know. So before I went to study engineering, I studied piano.
Mhm.
I wanted to be a pianist, and now I'm here managing global projects. So what do I know about life? What I can tell you is that one a good indication is that you like what you do, and you do it very well, so to speak. And for me, I know what I like to do, and I know what I do very well, because I've tried different things, and some things I didn't work so well. But for people that, for example, let's take your case, someone that likes very much many things
Mhm.
equally. Choose one. Choose one. If they are all equal to you, what does it matter? Now, if they are not all equal to you, or you don't know, you need to find out, I think. You need to spend some time thinking about that and make a decision. And those are all good advices. Make a decision and try and learn about yourself. That's all good. One thing that I think you shouldn't do, it's just zigzag.
Mhm.
Don't zigzag. Don't waste time, too much time. I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and you spend years doing this. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because you don't get the time, enough time to go deep on that topic, and you don't learn enough about it. So zigzagging doesn't work. You can zigzag a little bit to understand yourself, what you like. Don't make that a career, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I see. Thank you. And there was a question submitted in our registration form that how can someone identify the market demand and use it, you know, as their leverage to find better jobs or new jobs? Is there a way to do that?
Well, some companies, some consultants companies, McKinsey, others, they have reports. They publish the trends. Gartner, I think that was they put some kind of study or article or something. I was reading something about it. By 2030, AI will replace developers and project managers by 30% or something like that. It's well, we don't know. We
Will
don't know.
they?
I suspect it's not going to happen because the world doesn't work like that. But we don't know. Now the market demands. The market changes. I can tell you what are the big companies,
Mhm.
consultancy companies, management consultants, pharmaceuticals, automotive, software development, the media industry. So those are the gamble games. So those are all big players. There is no escape from that. But my answer is why that matters. Why that matters. For example, when I was in London, I worked briefly for a startup. We were creating an AI at the time, AI medical doctor, because the NHS, sometimes doctors are not ready available, and the bot would help in those cases. And it was good. It was a startup with 100 people, and the environment was amazing. It was well paid. I was doing something that I liked. It was fine. I also worked in big pharmaceutical companies with tens of thousands of people. It was good, also good. So the market trends, read the studies, read the news, see the movements in politics that attracts some types of companies to specific countries, and that's all fine. But don't put your chips all on that. Just do what you like and keep applying for jobs. I think that's the best advice.
Right. I
Things
think,
things change very quickly, very quickly.
yeah, I mean, if they are who they are and pursue what they like, it's more likely for them to succeed, really. They
Much
will
more likely,
pursue what
much more likely. When I was an engineer and I was invited, and that happened in different stages of my career, but when I was an engineer and I was invited to manage projects, it was it was like that. It was 8 at night, 8 o'clock dinner time. I was alone in the lab, just working like a rat, and the manager approached me. He was there too, and he said to me, I see that you work late here. I've seen your work. Do you want to manage a project? And I say, okay, let's do it. And that opens immediately a whole new type of work and world and career that I was not expecting, just because I did what I liked. I was solving problems, and that's why I was in the middle of the night solving that problem. And I think that's much more important, that you dedicate yourself 10 hours per day if you can, 12 hours per day if you can, doing something that is really valuable for the company, but also valuable for your own interest. And that opens a lot more doors than just studying the markets and seeing the trends. And that's all fine, but you need to put the hours. You need to put the hours. If you want to change to a different country, you need to understand the culture there. You need to understand the type of environment, the type of industries, what are the prerequisites. Maybe you need some kind of sponsorship. I don't know. Study that a little bit, but don't do something that you hate. I would say do something that you are willing to learn, something that you like, because that will drive you to do better.
Yeah, thank you. Mohammed has just posted a question here. He says that as a backend developer, I tried and sent resumes many times, but there are not many companies that need someone with my experience and knowledge. Companies prefer to hire one full stack developer instead of two developers. There are many companies that hire backend NET developers, but the projects have to be big enough to start with NET, and this makes the competition tough. Do you happen to have any recommendations for him how to approach this situation?
Backend versus full stack. Well, a full stack is someone, I think, that knows a lot of different
I
platforms
think
and program languages, and
mhm.
it's more versatile. I think I understood. I think I understood. I'm just trying to say that I think that the person that is asking this is trying to find a good job that he likes. I think I get the sensation. Uh, but he wants to adapt to what the company needs. That's also good. I would say that different companies have different needs, and maybe it's the companies that he is applying that are not great. For example, a big company like Sky, let's take Sky or Comcast or any other big player. they will have a ton, hundreds and hundreds of backend developers, just because it's the structure of the company, because it's very big. There is many different pieces of the mechanism that needs to be in place to make great products, and that's that. If it is a startup, they cannot afford to have 100 people just thinking about one tiny little problem. They need to have people that are more versatile. They need to do they need to juggle a lot of things. And maybe a full stack developer makes more sense. Backend, it's not going to be a realistic role there.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are a great backend developer, and you have the way to show that.
Mm-hmm.
You have built a portfolio. You have been inside projects that are meaningful, that are big, that you give the business the value that the business needs through the backend developers. So you make the business profitable somehow. So, and you're a great backend developer, and that's fine. On the other hand, you also can be a wonderful front-end developer. If you had worked in different projects, in different companies, in small startups to achieve their midterm goals, and you are an excellent front-end developer because you know a lot of platforms and a lot of programming languages, and you have solved a lot of problems, also fine. But you need to be very good at it. Because back-end developers, the market is full of it, and front-end developers, the market is project managers. They are everywhere. But where are the good ones?
Yeah.
The ones that move the needle inside the companies.
Mm-hmm.
Those are difficult. For example, at Sky, I've seen project managers join and leave. Product managers, product owners join and leave. After 1 year, after 2 years, after 3 years. Why? The market, it's like that, it's very dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are very good at it, if you keep increasing your skills, getting training, putting the hours on the projects, make your work visible, don't hide it, make it visible, I think you get good chances of getting an offer. I think you will get. It's not easy. It's doable, I would say.
Yeah, to become distinguished.
Sorry?
Become distinguished. Upskill.
Distinguished, of course. People don't want to back-end developer if they can do that with ChatGPT, But the ones that are good, they are going to really do good code and do amazing stuff inside the company. So you need to distinguish yourself, of course. Don't be just another one. Be you. That's really, really important.
That's something that I think we can learn a lot from you. I mean, considering how we can show that, like on the CV or on the communication skills. So, I mean, it would be perfect to discuss it more. But we have some other questions here. It is asked that there is a lot of certifications for project professionals. What is your advice to anyone starting a career in IT project management? How important it is to get these certifications and which ones matter?
It is important. I think it is important. For example, PMP, project management professional. It's good to have that certification, okay? I never saw a company that fully embraced the framework. I never saw. But in the role description, it's there. You need to have a PMP. And let me tell you, it's useful. Not because you are going to apply fully, 100% the methodology, but because you will have the words, the knowledge, the processes necessary to do a good work for you and for you to present to the company. If the company follows it, that's a different topic. Some companies don't follow it, but you have the knowledge. And it's not just the paper, it changes the way that you think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's useful. Different types of industries, they have different types of certifications. For example, the PMP or the Prince2 in the UK, it's very well regarded. If you have it, it's fine. I think that there is another more least expensive certification from Google, that is the Google Project Management
Oh yes,
certificate,
fundamentals, something like that.
fundamentals, something
Mhm.
like that. It's also fine, but it's good to have. Find in your industry what are the requisites, what is the best industry standards, and take it. Don't expect the company to follow it. Sometimes it's just jargon, in
Mhm.
the job description,
Yeah,
but it's good to have it and it's good to learn from it. So do it if you can.
great, fabulous. Thank you. There is one that Ali is asking with the global economic downturn and AI-driven layoffs. What's the smarter move for a mid-level backend developer in the near future? Is it to deepen our technical skills like PHP and Laravel, or pivoting to technical product director role using AI agents to stay ahead in the market?
Do what you like, and if you can, do it all. It's what I can say. So PHP, I heard. So PHP, it's a programming language. I
Mhm.
think if you are a programmer, you should be able to understand it very quickly. Do some projects around it. Involve yourself with the open source community or something like that. Go to GitHub and see the projects. Just practice. Then, then show yourself as someone that has knowledge and experience. Maybe you didn't have a real or precise role in the company doing that, but you have experience as a programmer, so do it. And also for AI, I think the AI is very useful too. We have been having some trainings in the company, very superficial trainings about it. Myself, I'm studying the topic because I love to learn and I love to study it, and it's also a good tool, and also just develop some agents, AI agents, and so on. It's very fun, and do what you like, do what you see the market wants. Do it. Don't There is an expression that is analysis paralysis. You
Yeah.
just analyze so much that you just don't do. That's a form of laziness for me. Just do it. Do it. I would say PHP, this is my background, my engineering background. PHP, it's not dead, but it's not. I don't know, but I don't really sure it is the future.
Mhm.
AI seems to be more the future, more or less. Study something that you like, something that is well paid. You know, that would be my advice. Study JavaScript, C++. I don't know, something Android, so I think it's in Java or something like that. So study those languages, but make sure that you show your skills.
Mhm.
Don't just read the book, do the code, build a website, put your CV on your own website. Why don't we have a website? You should have one. So that would be my advice. You need, because people don't know you, they don't know what you are capable of. So just make yourself visible to the world.
That's actually amazing because for me, it's all like connecting to each other, like on a map. So to be distinguished, you need to be working well and putting yourself out there and showing results. But to do that, you should know what you like and do whatever you can, absolutely can, to do that and get better in that. So everything kind of supports the other step in a way.
I
That's
I I agree. I know a lot of engineers. Some of them are really brilliant. Some of them are just lazy. You know, and when we are talking about software right now. I think back end, front end software.
Mhm.
So when I speak with an engineer and I go, where is your GitHub source code? I don't do it. And do you have a website? No, I don't code it. But you are an engineer, so engineer
Why
stuff.
shouldn't you do that? Yeah.
What are you doing? Cooking. So please do something. And then the industry change, the market change, and now I'm not well known in the industry. I don't know how to do it. Well, you had the opportunity. And another thing is that maybe I'm a bit a little too blunt, but let me tell you, I think do it in a way that you go tired to bed. Don't do it superficially. Don't spend half an hour just fiddling around. No, sweat, put your heart and blood and tears in your project, make yourself known, make a presentation about yourself, put the post-its on the wall, see your accomplishments, and go tired to bed. And you repeat that 1,000 times, but put in the hours. This is for you, nobody else. This is for you.
Thank you. That's amazing. I mean, it this has changed my perspective before when you have mentioned it in so many other ways. So I really hope that it helps other people too.
I
Um,
hope so.
we have about 4 minutes. And if we could, there is another question here that Dimitri is planning to move to UK to find his next role in the UK as a senior project manager. And he's asking, what do you think are the chief particularities on British working culture? He also has mentioned that he has both PMP and Google PM certificates.
The British market. Well, I'm Portuguese. My experience is that those guys are cold, as ice, and that's an asset. I'm a very positive person. I think for me everything is an asset, but that's an asset. It also means that you need to be very not wordy or lengthy, but you need to be precise.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be clear. You need to have a good presence. You need to speak the language that they speak. And if you have some English deficiency, maybe you need to learn a little bit more English to understand a little bit better. If your CV is a little bit clumsy, just make it better. Make sure that you are precise. Don't waste more resources than you need. For example, Portuguese people, we are known for having 2-hour lunches, and in London they eat at the desk. That's messy for me. I don't like to eat with the computer. I like to eat in the plate. But do what people there do. Adapt yourself to the circumstance, to the situation, and you adapt and do that. And for me, it's about precision in that environment. It's about precision, being clear, being straightforward, being honest, and present yourself in the best way possible. And I think that's enough.
Thank you. That's great advice. Thank you very much.
Of course.
I saw a hand raised. Was it Shahram? Sharon, we have 2 minutes if you have any questions. Okay, I suppose there's not. Okay, I'm not sure what happened, but we're at the end of the session. And personally, I have like a million questions. You know me, my questions never end. And so those are, I think, at the audience, there are a few questions that I wish we had time to ask and address. But I want to thank you very much deeply on behalf of everybody for coming here tonight. I know how busy you are, so it really means a lot. And I personally learned a lot. I hope that it was beneficial to everybody else. For everyone else on the call, feel free to connect with everyone. The LinkedIn links are in the chat, Marco's as well. So it would be great to connect and expand your network and to let's learn. That would be great. I would also love to, let me just share this with everybody. So this was our very first session, and I'm sure that I can get a lot better. So please, if you can scan this QR code or use the link, I'll put it on the chat right now, and give us feedback. What do you think? How was it? Is there anything that we can improve? Or if you have any recommendations on topics or on our next guest, we can approach them and ask them to come forward and guide us, teach us. So it would be great to hear from you, everybody. And it was very lovely to get to know you guys. And I hope that this was useful to everybody. I will be sticking around after 7, sorry, if anybody wants to chat and talk a little bit more. But thank you for joining, and it was really great. Thank you, Marco, again.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that I'm going to stay on the call just for 5 more minutes. Maybe someone wants to ask something. So I'm going
Fabulous.
to be here with you. But it
Great.
was my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much. So I think, yeah, it's a perfect opportunity, guys. If you have any questions, we have a couple more minutes. Let's see. Let me have a look here. Okay, so let me go to another question that hopefully. So there was a question, Marco, and oh, let's say yes. Go ahead.
You were already asking a question though, but my question is, I was just wondering really how I think that the companies people work for somehow have a way of shaping their career path. So if you're really if you're starting up, what will you be doing? Will you be specifically targeting certain companies, or you will just take the first offer you get if the pay is good? I don't know if my question is clear.
It is clear. I think that depends on the personality. I knew people that were very clear early on in their adult years, young adult years, what they wanted to do, and they did the best. You know, they did the best. They went to Deloitte or they to the top firm, and it was amazing for them. They worked as hell, and it was well paid, and I think they enjoy it. They had the energy, they had the drive, they wanted the money, and they want to do good, and that's all fine. And it's all fine. And that's all fine. For me, I just wanted to solve problems. I love processes. I love to solve different engineering problems. I love that. I I want to be well paid, but I want to love at the same time what I do. You know? And I didn't like that environment. I didn't do it. And I didn't plan my career. I didn't do it. I just went with the flow. And as the problem were arising, I was solving it. And then I was meeting people. And then I was being invited. And then I changed my mind. And then I did something different. And then I learned. And then it was not like that. But I met people. I'm working with people that their lives were very structured. They were, you know, it's like they have a target and they hit the target and they sleep well at night knowing that they hit the target. And for me, it's fine. It was not my career path. I would I don't have any solution for that. I don't have any straightforward advice. Personally, I think don't contradict your personality. Don't don't be someone that you are not. I think it doesn't work long term. But whatever you do, do it well. Not don't do it badly. Badly it doesn't work. Do it honestly, do it well, put the hours, and just go with the flow, I would say. I hope this makes sense.
It does. Thank you so much.
Of course. My pleasure. And these are all my personal experience, professional experience, you know. I worked in very hard environments when I was 20, 25. I could tell you stories that I did wrong that would laugh a lot. Now we can laugh, but at the time it was not for laughing. And now it's different. And it was all good. It was all good because I never quit and I never get tired. So I think that's the main advice. Just keep pushing. You can do it.
Yeah, keep pushing. Really, it also kind of shows how proactive someone is, doesn't it? When someone keeps pushing and tries to learn, upskill, to be present, to show results, it is, I think, something that most of the employers are looking for. They're looking for someone not to be told every step of the way what to do, but to rather find it on their own. Is it the
Yeah,
case?
I think I understood your question. I'm a proponent. I think that all of us to think for ourselves. There is no magic bullet. I can be a mentor, I can be a coach, I can tell you my experience, I can tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do, according to what I've seen in the past. That's all well and good, but your brain, it's the master controller. You decide. You are a thinking machine. You solve the problem, okay? You get the answer. But you need to push. You need to push. You cannot go home and turn on the telly and be sitting down 2 hours looking at the screen. No, that will not work. That will not work. You need to do something else. You need to try. You need to sometimes spend money to try to get more money. Sometimes you spend money, you don't get more money. Well, you are moving. And while you move, you learn. That's the main objective. My advice is, if you can, find someone that you trust and share your thoughts, share your concerns, ask advice. I would say that's good. Don't do that alone. If you can, find advice. Regardless, you don't stop. You never stop. It's your responsibility. It's your brain. It's your personality. It's you. So you need to do it. There's no one else to do it. I hope this answers your question, Mina.
It does, yes. Thank you. Anybody, do you have, guys, any questions you want to ask?
Everyone is happy and tired. I am.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It was, yeah, people saying there will be more prepared for next meeting. We sincerely hope that you would again accept our invitation. We would really be honored to have you on another session. I'm sure that, I mean, anything that was discussed, it could expand to something a lot more, a lot bigger, and I mean, it could just go on and on, and we'll learn a lot. Yeah. But thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining.